(2023) Mother Gaia, third dimensional planet, ascending into fourth dimensional collective consciousness. Azure,
Grand Rising Captain.
can you give me the update on third dimensional planet Gaia?
Yes, Christo, with pleasure. Gaia 3D currently is under critical condition. It seems there is a large amount of humans that have forgotten who they are, causing confusion, division and war driven by fear.
Thank you, Azure. Before we head down to Gaia, can you give me any information about the 3D world, as it's been a while since I've been there?
Sure, the 3D Gaia. We will face much resistance from negative polarity beings as a dual plane. Karma and Dharma are in effect. There is free will. It will be wise to protect our energy and hold love.
Alright, thank you, Azure. Sounds like we have quite the task at our hands. But that's why we're here, and that's why we've been called upon in the Galactic Federation to go down to planet Gaia, the 3D realm. Alright, Azure, let's get ourselves ready to go. Let's hit the time portal and make sure we land in the present day, Mother Gaia, third dimension. Whoa, oopsies. Yeah, not that one. Okay, let's try this one. Maybe this is the portal. Oh, yeah. Azure, this is a little too far in the future. I think we need to kind of go back a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Modern day Earth.
Captain Christo, as we approach, I will prepare our guest suite on the mothership for the souls we hold space for. Oh, and Captain, I will be sure to leave plenty of storage for earthly food delights to take for our travels.
Oh my gosh, Azure, you never fail to make me laugh. You know those earthly delights? That good old food of earth. Absolutely gotta have that food of earth. Thank you, Azure. Alright. It is time. It's time to make our way down to 3D Gaia. To hold space, show love, compassion, bridge the conscious collective, and help provide knowledge and wisdom and tools so fellow souls can remember who they are, live in a unified mind state with a harmonious being, with holistic, conscious practices and tools that they may access efficiently and quantumly.
Welcome aboard. I am Azure. Please get cozy. Grab a tea, snacks or crystals as we prepare for a sacred light conversation. The sacred holding space is down the hall to the left. Wholeness, balanced love. Joining us on the mothership for a sacred light conversation, Michael Krystalline. He is attuned to Reiki Level 2, deep dives into various esoteric and spiritual concepts such as yoga, ancient archaeology and secret energy Innerversity. Over the past 3 years, Michael has explored Keylontic science mixed with crystal gemstones. He will be presenting to us about Keylontic science with a complimentary 12D shield meditation. Feel free to ask questions and enjoy.
Hello, grand day. Welcome everybody to another Sacred Light Conversation podcast. Here live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I am Marcus Christolight of Sacred Light Healing and Wellness, your host, aka Captain Christo on the mothership. And joining us on the mothership today to help spread knowledge, give wisdom, and tools for the collective to be able to take upon for their everyday life. We are joined by our divine brother, Michael Krystalline. Welcome, brother.
Hello, how's it going?
I am wonderful, man, really wonderful. Just got the good news that my dad is coming home today from the hospital, and then just keeping up with the beautiful things that I'm creating. And I just finished hosting a retreat on Saturday. So feeling really blessed, really grateful.
Yeah, sure. That's amazing. Retreats are so beneficial for everyone involved. I find that hosting events sometimes fills my cup like even more than actually attending them. Just being able to give back to the community and really share what I know and everything, that sometimes is even more beneficial for me at certain times than receiving, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is there any way that you could possibly get a little bit closer to your mic?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to have it set up so that way I didn't have to hold my phone, but yeah, we'll do it.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you clear.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah, that's definitely better. So, thank you for joining us, brother.
Okay,
and
perfect. Nice.
I know you've had some really, really interesting and intriguing focuses lately, and some of those being yoga, kundalini, hermeticism, as well as other multidimensionality. And one of them, which I've actually haven't even touched on or heard of yet, is the Keylotonics. Is that how you say it? Keylotonics?
It's Keylontic.
Keylontic, okay.
So Keylontic, Keylontic, yeah.
Yeah, the Keylontic science. So I'm really intrigued to see what you have to share with us today and how we can integrate this into our everyday life for self-empowerment and alchemy. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you and allow you to share.
Okay, for sure. So Keylontic science, or Cathara bioregenesis, is a system of healing the DNA strands that we hold within our biological template as angelic humans. So essentially, we hold the potential for 12-strand activation as humans. as one of the 12 tribes of angelic humanity. We were seeded by the this goes back like many years. Like so, the first seeding took place. I think it's difficult to really put times on everything, as we live in like non-linear time, and time being somewhat flux, like not always exactly stable depending on which timeline you're on and how often we jump timelines. But like one of the first seedings for angelic humanity happened, I believe, 2 billion years ago on Earth, which it would have been referred to as like Tara back then, or even Gaia. Like Earth has had many different names depending on what time period it's been in, how large it was, what dimensional levels you are inhabiting, based on your consciousness, and sort of just like how you're moving through the fields of energy, right? So Marcus, if we can pull up one of the diagrams, it's like 12 different levels on it, and it kind of looks similar to the Kabbalah tree, but it's not. It's got 12 circles instead of 10. That would be helpful. So I can kind of get into the explanation aspect.
Are you talking about this image, or are you talking about the Kabbalah tree of life?
Looking up, telling me I'm having connection problems. It's not actually showing me the image you have up right now, so it should be. Oh, okay, yeah, that one will work, but I was actually looking. Well, yeah, let's go with that one first, actually. So this is just the difference of the crystal lotus, which is based on the 12 point tree of life, or the 10-point tree of life, the Kabbalah tree, which has 10 circles and 10 points on it, or the crystal lotus, which has 12. So essentially, based on which tree of life you're using, the math and the physics of the way that it unfolds into reality is actually different. So the one on the right would be using phi-based math, which would be like, of course, the Fibonacci, and it doesn't. It's essentially just different math that it uses, different physics, different. It's a whole different system, right? And then the one on the left has 12 actual doubling, so like 1, 2, as opposed to the Fibonacci, which I think is like 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. I don't really look too much into Fibonacci anymore because of my, I guess, feeling that the system of Keylontic science has explained that the Fibonacci sequence is not the original way that the matrix is supposed to be, or the matrix is supposed to be. It's not necessarily for everyone, this system, but as always, whatever I say, just take what resonates and leave the rest. No one has to agree on everything, you know what I mean? So And I don't think everyone should agree on everything either, because that's what makes life interesting and fun. So, which is the crystal tree there. So yeah, we want to open up the let's open up just like the
You're
I should have put more of an
cutting out,
order
man.
here as
Turning out
far as
pretty
the
bad.
images go, but
Your service isn't the best.
oh yeah, dang. Yeah,
Okay,
I guess
let's
it's
see.
gonna have to try connecting to the. I do have Wi-Fi. I just generally don't use it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see. Okay, I'll pull it up for you. This one right here?
Yes. Okay, perfect. And if we could just maybe increase the size of that a little bit. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this would be the structure of the 12 tree grid, and kind of how it connects through the different stargates that it connects in through. So you see the first three densities. So this system has a difference between densities and dimensions. So there's 15 dimensions within this time matrix, and there would be 5 different densities. So the densities would be like matter, and then you go into etheric densities, and then like even less dense as you go up the scale of dimensions. So we live in the first 3 dimensions. So we live in dimensions 1, 2, and 3 currently, with some beings kind of being multi-dimensional. They live in higher dimensions as well, simultaneously, and they would be like embodying some of their characteristics from like density 2, density 3, so like dimensions 4, 5, and 6, dimensions 7, 8, and 9, or even like density 4, dimensions 10, 11, and 12, and then that would be all of the actually manifest dimensions within our time matrix. And then there's 3 that are unmanifest, which are dimensions 13, 14, and 15, which are pre-light, pre-sound, and pre-plasma or pre-matter dimensions. And of course, like, this information is quite quite difficult to convey with the limited ability that words have to offer. It's something that takes quite a bit of study and I guess like learning like how it's all put together, I guess. So like I've been studying it for about 3 years now, and I would still say I'm like very much so in the beginning stages of, I mean, that's like on and off studying. That's not like just like straight up like hitting the books and really applying the study, like trying to take in all the information at once, because this is like a system that when you study it, it unfolds like in a natural process that doesn't overwhelm your consciousness with the information, because like that's a frequent problem I find within a lot of spiritual systems, is that like you learn too much too quickly and none of it actually sticks, you know. But so we have with within dimensions 1, 2, and 3, we have Earth, we have inner Earth, and we have parallel Earth. And then you hop up to density 2, which is the etheric matter. Then you get into the sun, Tara, and then Sirius B. So Sirius B, we all know like the dog star. Well, I think we all know like the dog star was worshipped by many different cultures throughout time and on Earth as being like our spiritual sun. So like the star that connects kind of out into star families and different lineages that claim like descent from beings that are star beings. And that would be like, so that would be like the Egyptians had like a strong connection to Sirius, or Kemetans, whichever. Like I prefer Kemet because that's the original term for the actual land and not the one assigned by the Europeans. But yeah, so a bunch of different places have claimed either descent or like friendship with beings from this star system. And of course, like there's the whole Syrian star seeds. There's a huge connection to dogs with Sirius, and also dolphins, whales, various other creatures. But yeah, there's so all these beings have some sort of energetic connection to that star system, because essentially what we have here on Earth is it's almost like a library of the various energies that are contained throughout the stars. I look at it as a place that many different beings have either evolved on or have placed some of their kind of almost their representatives or their energy here in order to just have communion, have like it's almost like a I don't want to say like PvP world, but it's almost like a world where any race that wants to can have some of its energy present here, whereas a lot of other planets are, in my opinion, more like locked down and more like home worlds. This is more so like a group space where there's a lot of different energies present and a lot of different races have their representatives here to learn and to protect the libraries that are stored within the Earth's core, like the access to the halls of Amenti, the access to the Akasha. I believe that Earth is a silica library that stores a lot of information for various race memories, various just basically genetic memories of a lot of different species throughout the stars. And I think that this planet has been an evolution school for many different races throughout time and space, which kind of explains why, in my opinion, there's so much like fighting that goes on here over control or the ability to have access to this space, I guess. So, based on this system, what it tells us is that there are 15 dimensions, and then they're split into 5 groups of 3. And each dimension, like each density level, as you go up, gets less and less dense. And then the last one, being Harmonic Universe 5, is actually not even incarnated into any sort of like existence. It's just completely separate, outside of time, outside of matter, and that would be where the founders' races are from. So they would be the ones who actually seeded life as a whole within this time matrix, and they would have probably came from, in my opinion, they would have came from outside of this time matrix. So they probably are creating entire like systems of existence, I guess. So like that would be like God or whatever force you want to give that or whatever name you want to give that force, like the creator beings, I guess. So I don't know if you have anything to comment, Marcus, but I think if you have any questions about what I've explained so far, now would probably be a good time to bring some of those in, perhaps.
So far, I really don't have any questions. I do really love this diagram, though. I love how it has the different, planetary soul groups connected with the different dimensions. And then I just really love the way they map this out. Like, this is the first time I've actually seen a mapping with, the planetary groups attached to it as well. And all of this just completely makes sense to me. Like seeing like Sirius being sixth density, or not sixth density, but dimension 6, and then seeing like Arcturus being 7, and then like Lyra. So I'm a Lyran starseed, and I'm well aware of the Lyran Council because I'm a part of the Lyran Council. And man, it's just a beautiful diagram. And I'd love to continue to learn more from you.
Yeah. Well, so all of this information was brought to Earth by a being known as Ashiana Dean and Michael Dean. So it was, I guess there was like 3 speakers that brought this knowledge, and they were appointed by the Melchizedek Cloister Emerald Order, which was a group of beings that were representatives from the Syrian Council. So, and they were also representatives of the founders' races. So the founders' races would have seeded like the Lyrans. They would have seeded. They've seeded pretty much all life within our time matrix, or at least that's the claim. Obviously, it's kind of hard to really know any of this. You just kind of have to feel whether or not it's true for you. You know what I mean? But so all this knowledge is brought by Ashiana Dean. Although a lot of the beings who had followed her in the past have claimed that she's been compromised, I kind of tend to agree with this. If you look at her videos from like back in the day, you can see all of the light that she was embodying. And then you look at videos after a certain point and she starts to become quite different looking, like not looking like herself, basically. But that was around 2012, I think, that she was kind of, I don't know exactly what happened. Some people claim that she had walk-in and that she was kind of, she had moved on, basically. The original being inhabiting her moved on and something else walked in. Or perhaps, I don't know. I tend to not go into fear about any of this stuff anymore. I just think it's all energy, and like everything has a purpose. Everything serves a purpose. It's not always good. It's not always bad. But at the end of the day, I think evolution always happens irregardless. It might take longer if it's hindered and tried to be stopped, but it will always continue to evolve and grow, in my opinion. So I think if we want to pull up there should be one that I sent that kind of shows like the different, there's like blue and green dots. And I'll kind of explain that a little bit, just the differences between like the Kabbalah tree and the 12 tree grid structure. But I think it's just it'll be blue and green dots and it'll look like the Kabbalah.
Okay, I think that's it. Now I see why people like Joe Rogan pay for someone to pull up all their stuff.
Right. I know. It's yeah, I definitely should have put an order on these images too. That was a mistake that I will take full responsibility for. But yeah, so we can see how the Kabbalah tree, when you put it next to another Kabbalah tree, it doesn't really connect in any way that's like meaningful, or like there's no way to really connect them properly, because they don't have the ability to attach to each other in a way that makes sense, I guess. Like you could flip them around differently and it would look like, so here's the thing, right? You can attach them like on one axis to each other, but you can't then you can't attach the other side to another group of them. So and then if we want to pull up the other one, that's the Kathara, that's a similar format. Because essentially what the Kathara grid does is it connects with other time matrices, and it stacks and forms like larger structures made with the same like macrocosm, microcosm type structures, where they all layer on top of each other and build into greater structures. Okay, yeah. So this image would be showing the Kabbalah as well, but it just shows how when you put them on top of each other, they don't line up in like as meaningful of a way. And then the other one I think is multicolored, but it's still on a black background, Marcus. And then it'd be like two 12-point grids. Yeah, I will definitely be sending a proper order for these next time, because it'll make things a whole lot easier for you.
No worries.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This is also my first like real podcast. So.
Hey man, it's nice to be, raw and real. That's the way to be.
Oh, for sure.
Be real
for
about
sure.
It.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this shows the 12 tree grid here on the bottom right, and it shows you the next level of the time matrix and how it would connect. So you can see that these two would actually connect. Like you can connect 12 to 13, and then you can connect 9 to 15, and it actually connects in like a much more parallel and like it fits together more like a puzzle piece rather than like having to force it together. Sorry, there was a bug there, but so, and then you can see the 13, 14, and 15 that would actually go into the next levels of the existence. So like essentially 13, 14, and 15, that would be like where the ascended masters come in, because they have already ascended all the way through the 12 levels of the dimensionality, and then they have volunteered to come back into dimension like 1, 2, and 3 of another time matrix to assist and up-level other beings and themselves, obviously. So, yeah, you would have 13, 14, and 15. That would be the next levels. That would be like essentially a parallel universe, and then it would go into the T1, T2, and T3, and then polaric, which is another like level. Like essentially, there's infinite levels. I think we all know this by now. Growth is infinite. You could infinitely descend too, if that was your choice. You could just keep going further and further into reverse polarity, or I guess like whatever word you want to use for it, like evil, darkness. Although darkness is not really a bad thing necessarily, because as we know, like seeds grow in darkness, the womb is dark, space is dark, and all of these things are conductive to growing life and growing matter and frequency, because like you can't, in order for there to be light, there has to be dark, right? You can't have light, like if everything was just lit up all the time, there would be, you wouldn't be able to see anything really, right? Anyways, so I think there is one more image, or there's another image that has like it's like a bunch of these all connected together, and we can go to that one. And I think there's like a red part and a blue part in it, if that helps. Yes. Okay. So we can see here how you connect like 12 connects into 24 on like the, so it goes like, if you were to go like north, west, south, and then east, there's like one tree at each spot. And then you would have a larger structure of another matrix, time matrix, that could be superimposed on top of all four of those to form like a upward expansion path. And then you would have outward expansion path, and then you would have one that can also fit inside of the small, like a smaller structure inside of that, and it all connects like evenly and easily, and that would be like more of an inward expansion path. So essentially the difference of this system to Kabbalah would be that you have an inward path and an outward path, and they both connect directly to source. Whereas I think Kabbalah would mostly be, it would be one way, like you could ascend or you can descend, but I don't think you can do both simultaneously within that system. Because and the other thing being that Kabbalah kind of isolates you from other time matrices, like you get cut off from the other expansion into like parallel matrices. You're just kind of stuck within one system, I guess. That's more of a personal opinion. And like, I'm not going to say Kabbalah has no uses. I just personally, I don't use the Cabal or the Kabul or any of that kind of magic anymore, because I've moved on to this system and I find it much quicker and much, I guess, it's more like exponential growth, I guess, which I find quite nice. So these are just like the basics of this system. And then I was going to do a 12D shield building technique as well. So I was hoping we could maybe go into that shortly. That would just involve like a little bit of a mini meditation type thing. And we'd be doing some visualization and different breathing techniques, connecting into the Earth's core and our 12th chakra, which is about 6 inches below the feet. And then this technique would build the Maharic shield, which is a multi-dimensional shield, a 12D shield. So you'd be running Maharic current, which we pull up from the Earth core in order to kind of protect our fields from distortions and code convolutions in our DNA strands.
Man, real quick, I just wanted to add, it's interesting you bring that up about like the Kabbalah and everything, because it's actually never organically resonated for me to study it. I'm very particular about where my intuition directs me when it comes to what I study, especially when it comes to esoterics and knowledge of self. And I've never really been drawn to that. I've always been drawn to very original blueprinted crystalline Sophia code embedded things. And this image right here, it fully resonates for my being. Like, I can feel that whole entire like chakra column unlocking from this image.
So what I find is that until I found like this Christic science, Keylontic science. So what a Keylon is, it would be like one of the smallest particles of like matter within our time matrix, and like it would be smaller than like subatomic particles and stuff, and the original shape of it would have just been like a circle with a dot in it, and then what was superimposed onto it was the two triangles, and then from that they actually were able to, because the two triangles came from these six crystal cathedrals, which were giant, like huge, like skyscraper tall selenite crystals that they brought in from Sirius B, because Sirius B they just grow larger there. On Earth they don't grow as big, so they brought these over through stargates or whatever other methods the aliens are able to use to transport matter like that. But they were able to install these within inner Earth in order to create more of like a frequency fence for Earth and a defense system. Unfortunately, one of the negative groups was able to come in and infiltrate one of these inner Earth temples, and they were able to invert the energy coming in through one of these crystal cathedrals, which is like essentially what they did was that was what created the pentagram out of the hexagram, right? So they were able to invert this one point, and then that point got pushed up inside of the hexagram, and then it became a pentagram instead. And I don't even think, because in my opinion, the original like Keylon would have just been a circle with a dot in it. Like the dot would be the 0 point, and the circle would be the matter revolving around that point. So they had these, because of this, when they did when they made the hexagram with those selenite crystals, that made like 3 lines where the matter would go up and down or side to side or whatever, to create a different type of energy circulation for the Keylons, or the smallest like particles that make up our dimension, I guess. Yeah, sorry. It's just there's like so much information contained within this system. It's hard to know like which direction to take it in and which yeah.
No, trust me, I know, man. You're doing really good. Just know that. So
yeah, thank you.
Stress. Don't think that.
I have to like take a couple of seconds and like breathe and kind of recenter and get back to like the next way to explain it. So yeah, we can go into the meditation now, I think, and then shortly after that we can kind of just take some questions maybe and then wrap things up, I think.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
There was a question about 15 minutes ago from JBeanie3 on YouTube, and he said, what was the name of that lady that you had mentioned?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll put that in the chat here on our stream thing. Yeah. So Ashayana Dean. So ASHAYANA DEANE. And like she's still alive and everything, but she started bringing in this information during like 1999 and 2000 in like different workshops she was hosting. And yeah, it was very advanced for the time, and I don't think like it did start catching on a little bit, but it wasn't recognized for what it was at the time. I don't think. And I mean, I feel like a lot of the starseeds that have came in here have already known this information before, which is why it resonates so deep with them. Like, because personally, when I found this system, I was just kind of like, whoa, like this seems to be what I've been looking for. As far as most of the other systems I've learned have resonated, but only for like a certain amount of time, and then I kind of moved on and moved to different things. Whereas I feel like this might be one where I'm going to be studying it for quite some time until I mean, who knows? Maybe I will eventually resonate with something else instead of this. But right now, this is my main focus as far as learning. And I mean, I'm not really searching so much anymore. I have a fairly solid level of discernment where I just kind of flow through experiences, you know.
Hold on.
But,
I'm getting download. I gotta share this download while it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm feeling is, and this is what's coming through, like I can clearly even hear it. Like I can hear the audio of it. It's like we have all these degrees of shadow systems, and they're limited because they're shadow systems.
Yeah.
And then we have the organic crystalline blueprint. And you can either align yourself with the organic crystalline blueprint, which is locked in with eternity, Christ consciousness, or you can align yourself with slightly inverted shadow systems that are not going to bring you to that eternal flow. They will continue to keep you in cycles, karmic cycles. And there's no right or wrong to it. It's just the experience and what your free will choosing to align yourself with.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's 100% accurate. I find that and another thing about this system is that it teaches that the Earth is actually not supposed to be on a 23-degree tilt. It's supposed to just be like straight 0 degrees of tilt. And that happened during one of the events back in... when did that happen? So I think that was around the time of the Atlantis cataclysm, or possibly during the Lyran Wars, back the Electric Wars, and back even further back than then.
Well, there was a time too where there was a time too in our solar system when Mars and Venus, and then another planet, I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the one that we used to have that ended up getting destroyed.
Marduk, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that also had an effect as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, definitely had an effect. Oh, there's so much. So what this system teaches, the Keylontic science, is that so what you were saying about the shadow systems and whatnot, those would all, under this system, those would all be aligned to the phantom matrices, which is the vampiric energy, like the energy that needs energy outside of itself in order to sustain itself, to prevent entropy, right? So like there's people who are organically connected to source, and they don't need outside energy to sustain themselves in order to not decay. And then there's people who are latching out and taking energy from other beings. So I had a download come through a while ago that was anti-Christic beings hold on. Let me remember how this went. Anti-Christic beings steal energy to feed entities, and Christic beings use source energy to heal entities. No, that's not it. But I don't even think I wrote that one down. Oh, that's tragic. Oh well. I'll remember it by the end of this. I'm sure I will. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Ascension Glossary has a lot of good info on this, on these systems. I do find that not all of it is entirely true, based on what I know, but yeah, I mean, Ascension Glossary is definitely really good for beginners to use, and then I just recommend using your discernment when you're looking up information on there, just because I find some of it has been distorted a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I guess we can go into the 12D shield building. If we want to take, maybe if everyone wants to take, I don't know if we have viewers, or I'm not really aware of them if they're there. So because we're both streaming on this. Some?
Yeah, we got a few people on Instagram. We got person
Cool.
tapped in on YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah, if you guys want to, just take a moment to get yourselves prepared and situated for this meditation. If you want, honestly, like maybe we can take like a minute to a 2-minute break real quick.
I'm 100%. I'm gonna get some water as well. So
awesome. So yeah, you guys just stay tuned. We're gonna dive into a 12D shield meditation guided by our brother Michael here. Feel free to grab some water, grab some sage, crystals, whatever you like. Get yourself cozy and get ready to receive some beautiful healing energy. We'll be back in just a moment.
We are back. We are back.
Welcome back, everybody. Go ahead and get yourselves cozy and comfortable as Michael is going to lead us through a wonderful 12D guided meditation. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Okay, so let's take about maybe 3 or 4 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth, just to center into the heart. And we'll go ahead and start that now. Just releasing any tension, anything that no longer serves us. Centering into the heart, centering into unconditional love. Okay, so we're going to begin by visualizing the Star of David, or a hexagram made of a light silver or white light in our pineal gland. If you're not good at visualizing, or you're not experienced with that, you can just intend for that symbol to appear. And trust that it is there. And then now we are going to take that symbol and just move it a little bit to the left of our field of vision. And we are going to visualize another hexagram, this time made of a dark silver light. And we can now merge the two hexagrams, or stars of David, and we will combine those into the center of our pineal gland. And we will take a nice deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to be sending that image of the star, the superimposed Star of David's, down into the center of the earth core. And you can visualize the earth core however you like to, either a crystal core, molten core, an iron core, whichever you prefer. So once the images of the Stars of David are there, this symbol is called the Hierophant symbol, and what it does is it unlocks the Maharata current, the 12D current from the center of Earth core. So that way we are able to utilize that current for our practices, and start being able to pull that current into our field. So what we're going to do is we will imagine that the stars of David start spinning, but they start spinning in opposite directions. So like one would go clockwise and one would go counterclockwise. And we will start to imagine that this counter-rotating fields begins to form a ball of white light around the images of the stars of David within the Earth's core. And then we're going to keep spinning these, and we're going to accelerate them. And you should feel or sense a popping sensation at some point, which will be the Maharik's shield for the Earth extending out of these the Hierophants, and we can imagine it as a huge disc of white light, silver and white light, extending all the way around the Earth, through the core, around the equator, and it will go all the way out into the Earth's atmosphere as well. We can just take a couple more deep breaths here and imagine that the field of the seal of the Maharik shield of the Earth has now extended into the atmosphere and is stable and secure. And we'll just lightly bring our focus back to the ball of light containing the two Hierophant symbols within it. At Earth's core. And on the next in-breath, we are going to pull that ball of light with the two Hierophants up to the position of the 12th chakra, which is 6 inches below the feet. And we can do that now on this inhale. If you haven't already done so. This is the position of the 12th chakra, and we will imagine the 12th chakra as a small silver disc about 3 inches in diameter, and we are going to start spinning the Hierophants at this position as well in order to expand the disc of the 12th chakra to about 6 inches in diameter. And this would be centered on like the central column of your body, or the prana tube, if you know what that is. It's just a column of light that goes directly through the central axis of your body. And just as a reminder, it's about 6 inches below the feet that the 12th chakra is located at. Once we feel the expansion of the 12th chakra, you're going to take another deep breath in. Return focus to the Hierophant symbols and the sphere of light. And on the next inhale, we're going to inhale that sphere up to the 14th chakra, which is located 36 inches above the head, so 3 feet above the head. And we can do that now. And then now that our Hierophant and the sphere of light are located at the 14th chakra, 36 inches above the head, on the next exhale, one more thing. We're going to anchor this connection from the Earth's core into, if you know your star origins, you can anchor it into your star origins. Or if you don't know your star origins, you can just try to anchor it to the 14th chakra, 36 inches above the head. And just imagine that the tube of light coming from the Earth's core and the Maharic shield at the along, going out through the Earth's core, connects up to that, and the Maharic energy runs through your central column all the way up to the 14th chakra. And we'll just take one in-breath now to run that current and that frequency up to the 14th chakra. On your next exhale, we're going to take the Hierophant and the ball of light and send it from the 14th chakra to a position about 12 inches below the feet, which is the location of our personal Maharic shield within our morphogenetic field. And once it has reached that point, we are going to begin spinning the ball of light again in order to expand the personal Maharic shield, and that will have a diameter of about 6 feet. Allow the ball of light to spin in whichever direction it chooses, counterclockwise or clockwise, either or is fine. You should feel a light pop or expansion from the ball of light into a 6-foot disc of silver white light, the personal Maharic shield, as opposed to the Earth's Maharic shield, which would be the huge one that connects all the way through the atmosphere and whatnot. Okay, now that they are all expanded, we're going to begin exchanging energy, pulling up Maharic current from the Earth's Maharic shield to our own personal Maharic shield. So on each in-breath, we're going to imagine a current coming up the central column and going into our personal Maharic shield from the Earth's Maharic shield. And on the exhale, we can imagine it spreading out through the shield and just amplifying and anchoring into the our own personal shield. We'll take a couple of breaths while we're doing this. And you should feel your own personal shield kind of get to a energetic holding capacity for Maharic current at some point. You'll just kind of feel the flow of Maharic current naturally decrease, and the personal prana tube or tube of light that was 6 inches in diameter will go back to being 3 inches in diameter. Your 12th chakra will just contract back to its natural size, and that will mark the completion of the energy transfer between your personal Maharic shield and the Earth's Maharic shield. And as this happens, you will notice that from your Maharic shield down to the Earth's Maharic shield and up to the anchor point, which you've sent, either your star origin points or your 14th chakra, 36 inches above your head, you'll notice a huge tube of light, 6 feet in diameter, white and silver light surrounding you and your auric field. Which is filled with Maharic current and frequency, 12th dimensional frequency. If you'd like to breathe some of that in and just feel it permeating your entire being, all of your cells, all of the atoms that make up your body. Clearing out anything which is not serving you, which no longer is necessary for your journey. Removing any attachments that you no longer need. And the Maharic shield will stay active in this state for approximately 1 to 3 hours when you first start doing this practice, and as you do it over the course of, like, as the more you do it, the longer it will stay active for. Eventually, I think with about 3 to 6 months of consistent daily practice, it will remain active in your field for a full period of 24 hours at a time. Okay, and if we can just slowly begin to bring awareness back to our normal waking state, our normal conscious state, just again, wiggling your fingers and toes, just grounding back into your body. You can open your eyes whenever you feel ready to. Welcome. Welcome back, everyone. Happy to have you here. I hope it was beneficial and you were all able to feel the energy, even if you weren't able to fully visualize. I know a lot of people haven't fully developed their inner visualization, me being one of them as well. I tend to just feel things. I don't necessarily always see them internally. But yeah.
Yeah, that's how I am too. I'm more
Yeah.
of a clairsentient audience.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely me. I know some people have the sight, but that's not one of my gifts. I think it could be developed, but honestly, I'm pretty happy with the way I am, so I don't really tend to force things like that anymore. I used to try to develop all those different gifts that I think we have like set abilities that we've trained in over lifetimes and whatnot, and not everyone has the same talents. So I've made peace with that.
Yeah,
So now I'd like to,
thank you for that,
now
man.
I'd like to,
I
for sure.
I was gonna say I felt immense white light just through my column in the front, especially, and it was just so powerful because I'm someone I have my routines and I'm keeping my vessel clear daily. So to be already clear and activated and have that on top of it, I literally felt like I was just like this stimulated wave of water. Like it was just nothing but stimulation and ethericness. So it was very powerful.
Sweet.
I had to really
that's awesome.
ground myself and give myself a little bit of self-discipline just to make it through the whole thing because I didn't want to
I find
cut myself short.
It was very hard for me to stay focused during these techniques when I first started. And that's like not necessarily normal for me. I find, I don't know if it's just because it's so cryptic and like whole and whatnot, but it seems to be that like these techniques just require a lot of energy and a lot of focus. And like, even if we are very experienced, it can still be a challenge, which I found quite interesting and quite cool for me, because I was like, wow, like this must be really doing something like quite expansive if it's taking this much energy just to focus on something so simple, like, you know what I mean? Like, or like perceived, like I was perceiving it to be very simple to do that when I first started. And I mean, it's still fairly simple as far as the visualization and whatnot, but like it seems to require a huge amount of focus, which is telling me that it must be doing something quite powerful, you know?
Yeah, the way I see it is like it's activating, that electric board, that circuit board of our light body.
Yeah.
And that's what we're feeling is that light body coming online even deeper.
Yeah. And so there's like there's a group on Facebook which they're kind of exclusive, to be honest, as far as, well, they're not even exclusive, they're just very, very particular about who they let into their group, because they're trying to keep the shield strong, basically, the encryption and the but they're usually okay with beginners and whatnot. Just don't be surprised if the like I guess interview or whatever not interview, but like the acceptance process is a little extensive, you know. But the group is called Christic Symbiosis, and they have a master study guide which will bring you through the techniques in like the order that they're supposed to be learned in. So that way you can like, because if you like jump ahead too far, that can kind of like have you ungrounded and whatnot, you know. So that's not always a beneficial thing. If you jump too far ahead before you're ready, it can kind of lead to you not having a solid foundation, and then you'll end up having to go back and relearn and whatnot, you know. Which I've definitely made that mistake more than once in the past, learning different spiritual systems, just being like, yeah, give me all the knowledge right now. It's like, no, let it unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. So that way you don't get overwhelmed and you don't get, but so I hope that was beneficial for everyone and tuning in. And I hope I'd like to open it up for questions now. Thank you everyone for watching and for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll open it up for more questions if there are any.
I think currently at the moment everybody is gone now.
Oh, okay. They must have been having the same kind of issues that you were having with focus, so they just tuned out.
Yeah,
That's okay though.
I mean, it was very powerful. So
I'm sure people will catch the replay too. So yeah, I gotta get some water in me as well.
oh yeah, it's gonna be on the YouTube channel.
Awesome. Yeah, and thanks so much for opening the
one thing
space
about
and for hosting.
why I love holding these spaces. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom and sharing your resources, as well as this meditation. It was very, very beautiful and powerful. And yeah, thank you for just being willing to come on and share this and have the courage to share it, because I do know that some of this content is very triggering. It could be very tightrope walking when it comes to spirituality, especially when it comes to spiritual communities and their belief systems and how much they can hold on to their traditions and you know, take defense towards knowledge. And really I just welcome everybody to, as always, take things with a grain of salt, discern for yourself what resonates with where you are in your journey, and just know that if something is for you, it's for you, and if it's not, then it's okay. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to shame it. You just choose to not continue to focus on it and be a part of that and just focus elsewhere. So again, thank you, brother, for coming on, having the courage to share. Really good stuff. Well, I'm not sure where he went already, but I'll go ahead and wrap it up. That being said, everybody out there, feel free to leave your feedback, your comments, any questions at all. Feel free to reach out. You can reach out to myself, or you can reach out to Michael, and you can reach out to him on Instagram. And here's his Instagram for all of you guys out there that would like to tap in and connect with our brother Michael here. Boom, boom, boom. And then people can just direct message you through IG, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, my lines are open.
And there he is, everybody. All right. With that being said, thank you again, Michael, for coming on, having your courage to step up here and share this deep knowledge. And I look forward to more spaces together. And if you are open to it, we can hold a second space and we can talk about some things like the stock market, birth certificates. Things like that.
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely game for that. That would be a good one to talk about as well. All the games that are played with our consciousness here, you know. But yeah. All right. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, brother. You as well. Everybody else. Wholeness and balanced love.
Wholeness.
You know we be with it, we off in the hood like some wizards. Nobody ever gave us anything. Meant something from nothing, just like magicians. Gotta relearn everything. Just to remember that I was forgetting. Just to remember that we had a vision. Did it all, don't know how I did it. Time to go start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Let them know we in here, yeah, we in the building. Start season to go and you know those crystal truths. Back up in the matrix, yeah, we know the vision. Off on the mission, you know how it goes. Off in the system, they turn up their nose. They took all the soil, but they didn't know. Through the concrete, you see the roads. Eyes ain't open, don't mean I ain't woke. Ain't got no cash, don't mean